What if the most dangerous striker in women's MMA doesn't care about your chin? What if she doesn't care about head kick knockouts or overhand bombs or chasing that one clean punch for the highlight reel? What if her favorite target is lower, softer, buried beneath ribs and pride? That's Dakota Ditcheva. 15 fights, 15 wins, and every opponent leaves the cage with the same lesson. Your body gives out before your will ever does. As of September 2025, she's got a brand new multi-year PFL deal.
Time with PFL, we've come to a great agreement, and I'm going to look forward to the next few years together. So.
A surgically repaired hand and a tournament champion daring to call her out.
I think when Dakota's healthy, I would love a chance to be able to fight Dakota.
Which means the only real question is this: who's next and who can possibly survive it? Dakota Ditcheva didn't just get into fighting, she was born into it. Her mom, Lisa Howarth, was one of the first women to put British kickboxing on the map. Back in the 80s and 90s, when female fighters had to scratch and claw just to get a fight, Lisa was in the ring throwing down. So Dakota didn't grow up in ballet class. She grew up in gyms that smelled like Thai liniment and echoed with the thud of shins on pads. That was her nursery. By her teens, she wasn't just Lisa's daughter anymore. She was a gold medalist at IFMA, the Muay Thai equivalent of the Olympics. And if you know Muay Thai, you know it's not about dancing around and point fighting. It's about chopping people down with knees and elbows until they can't stand anymore. That's the DNA she carried into MMA. And by the time PFL Europe signed her in 2022, the whispers were already there. This one's different. By the end of 2024, nobody was whispering. She was the PFL World Champion. Most strikers in MMA hunt heads because fans love knockouts. Clips go viral, social feeds blow up. But hunting heads is risky. Some fighters can eat a clean shot and keep moving, but the body, that never lies. And Dakota, she's built her entire game on making your midsection regret existing. Teeps to the solar plexus. Think of it like getting poked in the chest with a baseball bat. Knees up the middle. Perfect built-in anti-wrestling. You shoot lazy, you eat bone. Hooks to the liver. They don't look devastating on camera until the opponent just folds like a beach chair. Every strike feeds the next. She slows you with the body, stops you from shooting, then makes you panic until you give her exactly the mistake she's waiting for. That's why her nickname isn't marketing fluff. Dangerous isn't just a vibe, it's a guarantee. Don't just take my word for it. Let's look at the receipts. Taila Santos, November 2024. Former UFC title challenger. Dakota didn't care. Round 2, body shot TKO. That finish made her the PFL World Champion and the first British woman to ever hold a global MMA belt. Chelsea Hackett, June 2024, round 1. Hackett went from confident striker to gasping for air in under 4 minutes. Lisa Mauldin, April 2024, round 1. Body shots set up the ground finish. Textbook Dakota. Jenna Bishop, August 2024, round 1. Another TKO. Another case of Dakota turning someone's midsection into a bullseye. Sumiko Inaba, July 2025. This one was different. Dakota fractured her left hand mid-fight, but instead of folding, she adjusted. Kicked, kneed, countered her way to a decisively one-sided unanimous decision. If you wanted proof, she's more than a frontrunner, this was it. Every fight paints the same picture. Dakota doesn't just win, she dismantles. After Cape Town, Dakota stepped into the mic and dropped 2 bombshells. First, she's re-signed with PFL. Multi-year, multi-fight. Translation, PFL knows she's the face of their women's flyweight division. Second, her hand was broken. Days later, she posted the fresh out of surgery selfie, hospital gown, cast, no excuses. Here's the thing, her style doesn't just depend on her hands. Even while rehabbing, she's sharpening the tools that make her deadly. Knees, teeps, body kicks, which means when she returns, she won't be rusty, she'll be sharper and more lower body lethal. Hey, quick break. If you're still here feeling the vibe, hit that subscribe. This channel isn't about hype, it's about legacy. We go behind the lines of combat sports, break down the techniques, the politics, the stories that matter. You'll want to be here when Dakota Ditcheva walks back into the cage. All right, let's talk about the fight that could define her career. Liz Carmouche, the Girl-rilla, the Marine, the veteran of veterans. She's been around since women's MMA was a sideshow. She fought Ronda Rousey in the first women's UFC fight back in 2013. She fought Valentina Shevchenko for the Flyweight belt in 2019, and now, in 2025, she just won the PFL tournament, stopping Jenna Bishop in Charlotte, and she called Dakota out. This isn't just champion versus tournament champion, it's striker versus grappler, youth versus experience, the new face versus the last survivor of the old guard. Carmouche has the wrestling, the top control, the grit. She thrives in chaos. She's been in wars Dakota hasn't even sniffed yet. If she can drag Dakota in the deep water, she's dangerous. But there's a ghost haunting this fight, Valentina Shevchenko. Let's pause, because if you've got eyes, you've noticed it. Dakota Ditcheva fights a lot like Valentina Shevchenko. Both are tall southpaws, both love teeps, knees, and body kicks. Both pick shots like snipers. But here's the difference. Dakota is Shevchenko with the volume turned up. Valentina is clinical. Dakota is relentless. Valentina uses body shots as a setup. Dakota uses them as a finish. Valentina is 36. Dakota is 27. Faster, fresher, stronger. Carmouche fought Valentina in 2019. She lasted 5 rounds but couldn't crack the code. Now she's staring down Shevchenko 2.0, but meaner. And that's the twist, right? Liz Carmouche already lived through the Shevchenko nightmare. But Dakota Ditcheva isn't a rerun. She's the sequel. So the real question isn't whether Carmouche can survive what she's seen before. It's whether she can survive the upgrade. Because this isn't 2019 anymore, it's 2025. Dakota Ditcheva isn't just chasing belts, she's chasing legacy. Let's play it out. If Dakota wins, it cements her as the #1 flyweight in PFL, maybe even outside the UFC. She beats a veteran, a former title challenger, a pioneer. It validates her style against elite grappling. It makes the UFC whispers louder, and it makes her the cornerstone of PFL's women's roster. If Liz wins, oh man, that changes everything. At 41, Carmouche would have beaten the unbeatable prospect. She proved that experience, grit, and veteran savvy still trump youth and athleticism. It would be a throwback to when she nearly choked out Ronda Rousey in 2013. A reminder that Carmouche always had the ability to play spoiler. Either way, the fight has stakes, not just for PFL's flyweight division, but for the story of women's MMA as a whole. Because this isn't just about gold straps, it's about legacy. Ditcheva isn't just undefeated, she's the first British woman to win a world MMA title. She's the blueprint for how to adapt Muay Thai into MMA in a way that's not just flashy, but functional. And Carmouche? She's one of the last links to the old guard. Fighters like her walked so fighters like Dakota could run. That's why this fight matters. It's not just about who's better, it's about who defines the era. So here's the truth about Dakota Ditcheva. She doesn't fight illusions. Other fighters sell you on toughness, on chins of steel, on unbreakable will. Dakota doesn't buy any of that. She aims lower. She goes after the ribs, the liver, the guts. She forces your body to betray you before your mind even has a say. She is humble, likable, and real. She's got the contract, she's got the scar, and she's got a tournament champion calling her name. But all of that is just noise. The only thing that matters is the same thing that's always mattered when Dakota Ditcheva steps into the cage. The chin might lie, the body never does. I'm Reggie Cross for Behind the Lines. If you're feeling the vibe, hit that subscribe. And remember, hype fades, legacy don't. Peace.
745